if in fact we are going to experience all that God has for us, we have to trust God when we can't trace him. In other words, if the commitment is to give, we have to give, watch this, in the way that Abel gave. Abel gave the firstlings of his flock. Y'all remember that? He gave the firstlings, not knowing that if the ones after that would be deformed, if they would die. If he trusted God to accept that which he gave him up front and said, God, I'm giving this to you because I trust you, and my entire life is in your hand, and I'm afraid, my brothers and my sisters, I'm mighty afraid, as my daddy said, that the reason we don't give the way that we're supposed to is because we don't trust God. We trust him selectively. But we don't trust him exclusively. God, can I talk? Number two, I believe that we don't give the way we should give is because we are more dependent upon ourselves than we are on the God who made us. There is something, my brothers and my sisters, to be said about when those of us who are in covenant with God see God begin to bless us, see God supply our needs, and all of a sudden we take on this mindset of ownership, and we then begin to do whatever it is we want to do with what God has given us, as if it is our responsibility to literally keep ourselves up. Or, watch this, to sustain ourselves. We get a little bit when we get our hands on something, when God begins to show us favor in certain areas, we take ownership of the expressions of God's favor, and now we edge God out. We do just like Cain did. Remember what Cain did? Cain waited until the whole harvest came, until he got everything that came up out of the ground, and then he looked and he grabbed a harvest. He grabbed an offering from the fruit of the ground, and he brought it and he offered it to God. He did not bring the first. He brought what was convenient. He was thinking about himself and his assignment in his mind to sustain himself. How many of us are so much given to self-preservation that we edge God out? When we are in need, we ask God, we plead with God, we beg God. But the more God blesses us, the more we edge God out, and watch this, we start taking our own lives into our own hands. We fail to remember that Jesus says that God takes care of sparrows, and he takes care of the grass, makes sure that it grows, and he makes sure that everything moves according to his will and his plan. God is in control. But why is it that once it comes to our finances, when it comes to us offering God what he requires of us and what we've promised him, why is it that we automatically take the wheel?